Oh! Wait, it was real. That mugshot was real. The second one was real. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's over. It's fucking Jover, dude. I was right. I was right. Pay up, bitches. Pay up. Let's go. I did everything right. And they indicted me. They even got him on his good side. Dude, he looks so hot. He looks so fucking hot. Also, Eddie was also right. I can never say his name. Edinger Momentum was correct, even though I clowned on him. He was right. Listen, he was right. He got lucky. Total vindication. He was correct. Edimentum. He's mewing? What does that mean? Bro, he put that shit on, dude. Look at him. Why is he flexing that there's like, that he posted this photo? I don't understand. We saw the photo 100 times in this fucking chat. You can't tell me he didn't go full blue steel. I told you he did. I told you he was going to. Can you watch the Andrew Tate, Alex Jones interview? Fuck no. I told you that he would serve cunt. I told you that he would smolder. I told you that he would hit the blue steel, and he fucking did. He did. Bro, this random dude beat a CNN anchor to the punch. No, he wasn't the only person that posted it, chat. What the fuck is wrong with you? There was hella people that posted it in here before him. What do you... How is it that you're in here and you experienced this happen and, like, you still think, like, your favorite Twitter account posted it first? Like, we saw it, like, 8 times before he posted it. That's why I thought it was fake still. It doesn't even matter. Like, he was probably practicing his face in the mirror last night. He looks hot. He looks fucking hot. He looks hot as fuck. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck that other people are saying it, okay? I don't give a fuck what other people are saying it. Where's Ethan? I'm going to text Ethan right now. There was no way he was going to smile. There was no way. No shot. What's the payout, by the way? Did we do the Gamba? What's the Gamba situation? It's fake? No, it's not. CNN posted it, chat. I'm not gonna, dude, I'm not gonna fucking. Let's see what CNN's saying live on the fucking mugshot. Trump is officially a mug shouty. Okay, that's it. It's done.
It makes me sad that a former former president has conducted himself in such a way that it's warranted not one indictment, not two, not three, but 4 different jurisdictions, and to now be booked into the Fulton County Jail and included in that indictment is
what are you saying?
Harassment and
fake according to this guy? Yeah, fuck CNN. This guy, who's a #1 fan of NASA's SLS rocket, enjoyer Roman history, with a fucking blue check mark,
Jake, I mean, you see that
posted a fucking local news media article from yesterday. Have some media literacy!
Of the former president
Fuck!
of the United States.
Yeah, it is a stark and
this guy's a dino enthusiast.
Side of your screen.
He must know better.
Jail inmate number P01135809, otherwise known as 40 of the United States, Donald John Trump. We see on the right side of the screen his Boeing 757 about to take off from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta, Georgia, on its way back to Newark, New Jersey.
Even if this,
no doubt,
even if this is still fake, that doesn't make that guy right. This photo is a banger. Oh. Anyway. Why is he and only he pictured at a slight angle? Because he's the fucking president, dog. He can do whatever he wants. He's still the president. He's the president to me. He's still brother.
in history. I mean, how many images are there of Donald Trump? He is maybe the most famous person on the planet, but this particular photo with the Fulton County, I mean, you can tell me exactly what this is emblazoned on the corner there. That is going to be iconic and infamous is probably a better way to say it. And I think that you said,
bro,
that,
liberals are so bad at jokes, man. It's just, yeah, get it? Because he has tiny fingers, guys.
Are going to embrace it, and they are going to use it as the ultimate example.
I just got a text message from Donald Trump. It's not even a joke. President Trump, this is my last text to you before my arrest. Patriot. I hope you'll read my personal note. Today at 3:31 p.m., I got this message from the Trump campaign. And it's really interesting because I've been a recipient of Trump text messages from the campaign since 2015, and I've never actually unsubscribed. He has never stopped texting me.
Facts that we're talking about here, which is a former president, office holder, top office holder in this country, trying to hold on to power, trying to do it by any means necessary, doing so in a way that led to multiple.
I'm not kidding. We could technically figure out who was the first one to release this mugshot because I was clicking on all the links earlier. Like, we could isolate it down to whoever fucking released it first on Twitter. I don't know how. Oh my God, it's already here. Trump steal. Stop. What the fuck?
They get to see the entire story. The advantage.
Showing up at the White House with the guy coming after you and shaking hands and sitting down and having a tea. And Trump's refusal to do that. That tradition that's not bound in law, but is part of our tradition, is what has led us to this moment.
We should point out there have been numerous disputed elections in the history of this country. In 1876 between Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden. In 2000 between Al Gore, George W. Bush. Jamie Gengel, on that note.
None have ever gotten to this point.
No, that's my point. I'm agreeing with you. Ultimately, they had their day in court. They lost, and they conceded defeat. Yeah. On that note, I want to Donald Trump on the tarmac on his way home this evening. We did not bring you those comments, but just to tell you one of the things he said, and I want to get your reaction, Jamie Gengel. He said, "It's a very sad day for America." And then he went on to say, "We challenged an election. You should be able to challenge an election." And then later in his comments, he said, "We did nothing wrong at all. We have every right, every single right to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think is very dishonest." And that's accurate. He has every right to challenge an election. And in fact, Jamie Gangel, as you know, he exercised those rights. And then he went beyond it.
Right. He exercised them and he lost over and over again. 61 out of 62 court cases in battleground states. The Supreme Court declined to hear his case twice. That's a court where he appointed
He has some friends
a
on the
lot
court.
of justices.
Yeah.
There were 3 recounts in Georgia. And let's just remember his own Attorney General, Bill Barr, on December 1st said that there was no.
How do we have people in this
fraud.
chat going, is Eder Germeramentum CIA? Bro, you were literally here. You were here when there were like 100 links linking that photo. I genuinely don't understand how you can look at the things that are happening in front of you and then when new information is presented by another person who's not familiar with all the details, you go, oh yeah. See, everyone is doing it now. Everyone is doing their own personal pet, Twitter Def Noodles tweeted it 30 minutes before the media. Oh, God, it's going to be the most cringe news cycle of all time of, every single person being like, my favorite Twitter account posted this before the media. My favorite Twitter account, whatever the fuck it is, posted this way before the media. You saw it. There was, a bunch of random-ass accounts on Twitter posting it. Way before anybody else. This kind of shit should not be, this kind of attitude about, being first to post, it should definitely not be, celebrated. This is how you fucking spread as much fake news as possible. Hoscourt is going nuts right now. I think you should nuke it. Why? What are they doing now? What are they fucking doing in there?
They tried to play off of it and capitalize, I think, on this idea, and now suddenly it appears they've grown a conscience. I mean, this, if you think about this indictment, and I kind of step back sometimes from the case, because I do think that lawyers need to think about how to lose it, and even as this coming motion is before us on Monday, and the federal judge will hear this, 154 of the 157.
This guy's my favorite.
That are alleged in this
The
indictment
big city lawyer.
occurred while he was a sitting president of the United States.
Sitting president of the United States. 154.
154 of 157.
That's staggering. So
all
everything except for that last document that he sent in September 2021.
And those are the 2 counts that occurred after he was president. So when you think about the enormity of the decision that this federal judge has to make about, do we move this case? Is this a federal executive? Clearly he is. Do we move it to federal court, or do we let it stay in the state court? If this is not a case that merits some consideration about transfer back to federal court, I don't know that there ever would be one.
And he's already facing charges at the federal level on similar conduct, maybe not exactly.
So let me ask you a question, Andy McCabe. You were acting FBI director. You were deputy FBI director. You dealt with Donald Trump when he was president as a law enforcement official. Did you look at that image on the screen right now? Did it ever occur to you that that would happen? A mugshot of Donald Trump?
Of course not. Right? Of course not. And my interactions with Donald Trump, my personal interactions with him, were very early on in his administration. I
love how much they're showing this
into the future as to where we would end up. But I think the point that you make on the consideration of removal, there is no question that could be a very effective legal strategy. It is an obvious and momentous thing for any of these similarly situated defendants to do. But I still think it's going to be very hard here. And I totally respect your tallying of the counts, but ultimately, to make the case that these acts were committed within the scope of their authority, they have to have been authorized by federal law. He had to have been acting under the authorization of some federal
This court is so
authority.
stupid.
And federal law gives the President of the United States zero role in the calculation of state election results. And that's ultimately what they were all doing.
But it does allow the
Y'all are so dumb. Stop posting the same sticker, you fucking idiots.
to inquire about possible elections in federal elections.
And inquire he did.
So,
This is a good one,
when I
too.
think about was he in fact a federal executive, I try to ask at what point is he not the president of the United States?
Yeah.
He can't ride his bicycle and not be president. He can't take if he has to have surgery for a minute, they have to bring somebody else in. He's president 100% of every day.
You know, going back to where you live and where you practice in Georgia, I'm also reminded of some of the things that we learned during the January 6th hearings and since in other court cases in Georgia about what went on in and around the then president's circle. I mean, the intimidation of those two poll workers, the lies about the things that they were saying that they were stealing votes. Never mind this slate of fake electors, which is the subject of several of these counts, and questions about whether that move and the work that these characters did, presumably on behalf of the then president, to try to steal the Georgia election from Joe Biden, which is effectively, I mean, the opposite of what Donald Trump says happened.
But this transfer motion will be not about is there even probable cause that the indictment is correct or that there's enough evidence to move forward. This is just, is there a plausible claim that he was serving in his federal capacity? So it's a low standard to me.
Joining me now, our senior legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed, who is outside the Fulton County Jail. And Paula, we just saw Donald Trump leave after being arrested and booked. When is he next expected back in Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, Jake, it's going to be a busy next month in this case because the next step here is arraignment. Remember, in his federal cases, he was processed and then he had his initial appearance and his arraignment all at once. But here in Fulton County, things come in phases. First, they negotiated bond, then he surrendered. Then they schedule this first hearing before the judge. And the district attorney, Fani Willis, has said she would like to do these arraignments the week of September 5th. So the former president and his
What is this?
co-defendants will all
What the
have
fuck
to
is going on?
to Fulton County for that arraignment. We
Discord,
can
stop
also
posting
expect
dumb shit.
simultaneously to continue to see legal challenges. We know that Mark Meadows and Jeffrey Clark have already filed challenges trying to move their cases to federal court. We expect the former president will likely try the same. Rudy Giuliani has also suggested on one of his podcasts that he intends to do that. But Jake, we also have to see these legal teams really solidify. This might be part of why the former president just secured his new attorney, because they only have a finite amount of time after that arraignment to file certain challenges to this indictment.
Is this real, guys?
For example, Rudy Giuliani needs to figure out who is going to represent him throughout this trial, because of course the lawyer who helped with his bond, Ryan Tevis, has been non-committal about handling this entire case. So it's going to be a really busy next month for this Fulton County case.
And the trial, or the hearing rather, on whether or not this should be heard in a federal court, this should be transferred from Georgia to a federal court, that's Monday, is that right?
That's exactly right.
Oh, I want to see how Fox is glazing it.
Let's just take that in for a second. You do see some anger in the eyes.
Dude, they're so parasocial.
And I don't like the ghoulish coverage of it. CNN got the image leaked to them before the rest of the media. That tells you everything you know about the process. Your reaction, this does elicit an emotional response.
Well, I would hope that people understand what time it is. I mean, we are in a cold civil war with the un-American left. They have decided that they will use the quote-unquote legal system as a weapon against political opponents. And I don't think many on the right fully understand that. I thought that was one of the biggest disappointments in last night's debate, that nobody really understood that the greatest threat to our freedom and liberty in this country is not Russia, it's not China, it's the administrative state. And they want somebody, the voters want somebody who's going to stand up to the system and actually crush it and return us back to representative constitutional government. And the left fears Trump. I mean, this is very apparent to me watching this. They fear him. They view him as an existential threat that if he does become the nominee and actually win in 2024, he's made it very clear what he will do. He will go to war with the administrative state and break it apart. And they cannot have that happen. They cannot allow him to get back into power to achieve that. And they're going to do everything that they can to prevent that. And I have to tell you, Jesse, unless the right wakes up and understands the only path forward is mutually assured destruction, lawfare launching nukes right back at the left, they will continue down this path. They're not going to stop. They're not going to somehow go, oh, yeah, we should stop this. This isn't good for a republic. They are going for the win. And until we actually fully understand that and fight back and make them understand there will be mutually assured destruction, their behavior is only going to get worse.
You're saying Republicans should promise mugshots of Democrats?
100%. They've already posted 4 indictments on Trump, and our state AGs are sitting there looking at each other like they don't know what time it is. At some point, they actually have to understand we are in a very interesting time as a country. Forget what you think from the past, where we've come from. Where we are right now is a fight for the actual future and existence.
This stuff is always going to be funny to me because, like, they genuinely have always operated under the assumption that, like, the entire criminal justice system is supposed to serve their needs and is supposed to attack the left and only the left, or whatever they ostensibly consider to be the left, like black people, you know, whatever the right broadly categorizes as woke, you know what I mean? So, like, the fact that the absolute, like, this beacon of right-wing manhood, this pillar, this right-wing hero is now being thrown into the fucking coals and getting eviscerated by the criminal justice system is such a frustrating, it has to be such a fucking frustrating moment when you have designed your entire commentary on the criminal justice system around how beefed up they have to be. Here's the clip where you clicked on the mugshot leak. It was actually the first one you clicked.
Big box stores shutting down because these criminals are going in and just...
Is it out? Oh my God, it's the guy I shit on. It was literally NASCAR playoffs Weagle. Oh my God. It was actually NASCAR. I think this might have literally been one of the first accounts that posted the mugshot. I was so wrong. We live in fucked up times, man. Why would fucking CFC Weagle have the right one? Yo, that's crazy. No, look at the time. It's 5:05 p.m. Is there... I'm sorry to NASCAR playoffs Weagle. It wasn't. I tried linking one, but I got timed out. I was refreshing the Trump mugshot page, and a bunch of random accounts were posting it immediately. Bro, what the fuck is happening? Okay, good one. I just don't know. Trump will do an interview on Newsmax, supposed to start soon. What?
What do you see there? I see a couple of things. The definition of injustice, number one, this should not be happening, and everybody knows it. I also see courage. I really do. And I see a fighter. And I see someone they're trying to destroy, but they are only making him.
Dude, this is so funny. They don't have enough words in the English language to suck this man sideways, dude. They don't. Who would you vote for today? GOP primary voters, 60% says Donald Trump. 16% says Ron DeSantis. God damn.
Eight points. This is wild. These are wild times, of course. So it seems like he's still president in some ways, right? The big plane, the motorcade, bringing him to jail. It's no longer surreal. It's no longer all that uncommon, right? We're used to it. People actually talk about other things during the day. It doesn't shock us anymore. They may be killing themselves over there on MSNBC and CNN, trying to make this, trying to shake our confidence, right? Trying to shake his confidence. Perhaps.
Ethan did not respond.
But they don't know who they're messing with. They are messing with the wrong people, us, and the wrong president, him.
What is he saying? Like, what the fuck is he saying? If one more person sends me the Edimitum Twitter account link, I'm nuking the entire chat into orbit, okay?
And you know what? All the trappings of the president.
Y'all are so fucking annoying. Oh my God, chat, please.
Democrats, the haters out there, Joe Biden, they hate this because they're reminded of just how much he has apart from them.
This motherfucker sounds like a villain.
For Air Force One, for the perks. He had all of that stuff already. And now this is the heart of their case, the Georgia case, right? Do you hear a crime here? What universe could they say that this phone call is a crime?
I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
What?
He did need 11,000.
That's not what...
It's okay to say that.
No, that's not the part of the phone call.
And you suspect
First of all,
you're allowed to call up public officials and complain and yell and shout a little bit, although we didn't even shout. This is, I mean, it's sad, it's tragic, it's also comical, and somehow it's inspiring, isn't it? Somehow, if he could put up with this, what can we put up with in our own lives, right? We all face crises from time to time. Nothing on that scale. So whatever problems we're having, I think we can manage. I'm joined now by Senator Tommy Tuberville.
No, man. No, right-wing Cope did not have the mugshot first.
Fight on Capitol Hill over
chat, look at the time code.
We'll get to that in a moment, sir. But first, Senator, first of all, welcome to the show.
Okay,
how are you?
before...
Hey, Greg, I'm doing great.
Okay, this is some fucking... Fuck this guy. Fuck Tommy Tuberville. Listen, guys. Listen, okay? On the stream, on the broadcast, okay? Someone sent me this at 5:05 p.m. Okay? This is way before any of those fucking Twitter gimmick accounts that you follow that you love. Okay? I'm letting you know. And I said, there's no way this is fake. And I was wrong. Because why the fuck would NASCAR Playoffs Weagle have the right one? And as far as I understand, even before then, like, people were blasting it right around this time. Okay? This was the first one posted in the chat. Yeah, 5:05 p.m. is when the actual fucking first one came. And ultimately, it wasn't even real. It was like, it didn't even have the fucking watermark on it. Like, I don't know how the fuck they found it. But it doesn't matter. The face he makes when he wants cuddles, food, or sex. Oh my God, Cam, that is devastating. Why'd you post that? You get stun locked on the most dumbass shits, dumbass things. I know, because chat has this like incredibly, unimaginably neurodivergent way of just like hammering on a point where they just can't let it go. And it really frustrates me because I, in an incredibly neurodivergent way, have to be like, no, that is not the truth. It doesn't matter. This speaks to a broader issue about media literacy. And now I have to fucking correct you. And a lot of people know that. So they keep coming in here and fucking saying the same shit over and over again. Being like, no, it was this account that first posted it. Not that it fucking matters. Anyway. Unlocks are so much more likely during peak politics return. Yeah. There's also that too. Because, like, if someone is just, like, running the gamut and hitting fucking fake news in my chat, like, I have to correct it. I should probably let it go. I should probably let it ride. The point is, you called blue steel and Trump fucked up by doing it. I mean, I did. I did call that he was going to blue steel it, and he did blue steel it. And that's fine. I love this. This old school HasanAbi vibes. It's very cozy. Yeah, I mean.
He said debates plural, and there was some indication that he meant those first couple. What we have seen, though.
But there's a side of me that thinks he watched last night, and he's like, I can take every single one of these guys, with the exception of Governor Chris Christie, who.
I'm telling you, I think I'm right on the reason why Trump didn't do the debate last night.
No, never once have I seen a deal like this before. Okay, so the judge rejected the deal. Now we're on to Plan C. More obfuscation, stalling now as a special counsel. You put the guy that wanted to let Hunter go free and now becomes the special counsel, a title that far-left hack Merrick Garland was very happy to bestow on Hunter's protector, David Weiss, rather than following DOJ regulations.
Bro, they're running Trump. They're running the Trump mugshot while still talking about Hunter Biden. I'm losing it, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. At least talk about how beautiful he is or something. Like, what the fuck's going on? I feel like at this point, Fox News is not even, like, talking about news that's happening at all. They've just completely given up on that. Their only project is just talking about Hunter Biden. True social links don't work for me. I don't know why. I tried clicking on it and it won't let me. So send it to me in a different, send it to me on Twitter, like a Twitter link or an attachment or something. Oh my God. The full Trump photo leaked. Are you ready for this? Oh my God. Artificial intelligence technology has created the full Trump photo, which you won't be able to see unless you're subscribed, because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or free with Twitch Prime. Are you ready? I'm going to scroll away. I'm going to zoom out. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Real. Turns out he was 215 pounds. We were shitting on him for no reason. We were body shaming him. Body dysmorphia is very real.
And then Ron DeSantis really seemed to figure out, okay, what's every.
God, these guys are such fucking freaks. Is Armored Core 6 out yet, by the way?
Well, here are the conditions they want Donald Trump to face during the challenge during an election season. Take a look.
Oh my God, everyone said yes.
Some images of just the horrible conditions. Grime, dirt all over the place, toilets overflowing, air conditioning.
Bro, this is crazy.
Lice, bed bugs.
They're talking about how terrible prison conditions are.
Absolutely horrible.
What the fuck?
One notorious case from last year, this young man, LaShawn Thompson, found dead in his cell last September, 35 years old. His lawyers and the medical examiners say he died from neglect, malnourishment, other horrible conditions, but it was also, he was found with bed bugs and lice just infesting his body. His lawyers released images of his cell. Look at that, just absolutely deplorable conditions, Jake.
All right, here now with a full report on the ground. He's outside the Fulton County Courthouse in Georgia. Steve Harrigan.
I'm downloading it. I'm downloading Armored Core Deluxe Edition right now.
Sean, that entire process took just about 15 minutes. President Trump had mentioned earlier that he expected to be arrested proudly, he said, at exactly 7:30. He was just a few minutes off. The president touched down in Atlanta just after 7 o'clock. He was taken by a large motorcade to that notorious Fulton County jail. Several dozen motorcycle police out in front. He went inside. It wasn't seeing him entering. He went inside.
Armored Core 6, Fires of the Rubicon, baby.
That mugshot was taken. When you ask most people about that mugshot, many describe it as an angry frown, but people certainly eager to see that mugshot. And then a preset bail of $200,000 was paid. He was out exactly 15 minutes later. The president returned to Atlanta Airport. He came out and spoke to the traveling media very restrained, almost sad, just for about 1 minute. He said it's a sad day for America. He said what we are seeing now is election interference. Sean, back to you.
All right, Steve Harrigan in Georgia tonight. Thank you. Joining us now, former President Trump's legal
Why didn't I get a sponsor?
Legal spokeswoman.
Yell at my management.
Good to see you, Alina. Fox News legal analyst Greg Giuliani.
They're clapping for her? Oh, they have a live audience. Yell at my management. You think I wouldn't have wanted a fucking Armor Corps sponsorship? Same with Starfield.
President ever indicted. We never had a chief political rival of the opposition party ever, treated like this before. You look at the case. Let's analyze it from a legal standpoint.
Sure. It's garbage. How about a very plain, simple English standpoint? When you have the president whose sole responsibility is to take care of America, the Constitution, election interference, and make sure that we are the America that I used to know, not the America you and I know now. And he is then prosecuted because he is leading so significantly, frankly, in the polls that he doesn't even need to go on a debate.
Her lav mic is fucked,
crisis
yes.
that we're in as American people. There is no case. Unfortunately, we have library books, Sean. We have bookkeeping because they didn't like the category on the QuickBooks tab that he put on a legal expense. And then we have this, which is him doing his job as the President of the United States, frankly, something we haven't seen for several years since Biden's been in the administration.
Yeah.
And they're going to try and put him in prison because they can't beat him.
Let's talk about, and by the way, how do you get 4 trials in during a primary season into a general election season? It would be an impossibility from my standpoint.
Right.
Now, in the case of this RICO case, the obligation to prove intent is critical on all of these charges. In other words, that the defendant acted with the intention of committing a crime or a fraud. I would bet every penny I had that if you gave Donald Trump a lie detector test and you asked him whether he believed everything that he was saying, the answer would be 1,000% yes.
Holy fuck.
And yet we have these, historically, we've had...
Dude, I gotta say, mad respect to my fucking internet service provider. Can't believe I'm saying this. I just started downloading it, and it's burning through while I'm simultaneously fucking streaming. How crazy is that? It's literally... Technology has gotten to an unimaginable level at this point where you can download like a fat-ass 48 gig game or 60 gig game in a matter of minutes while simultaneously streaming live on Twitch.
The legal process and Exhibit A, and this is the most exculpatory for the president, is his conversation with the Secretary of State in Georgia, in which he is complaining about ballot irregularities, faulty machines.
I mean, I'm also using upload versus download. I know, I get it, but like, you know, I'm also doing a bunch of shit online on top of that.
That are being ignored, and in the end, he is demanding a recount and a review, which, by the way, Brad Raffensperger has a duty to do. So he's asking him, do your duty. Fannie Willis is misrepresented and lied in an earlier filing about what Donald Trump said, claiming
Why
he said
didn't you
you
just
need
download
to find 11,780 votes. That's not what he said. Read the transcript or listen to the conversation.
It is a long transcript.
Right.
And in that transcript, at times he's talking about there are hundreds of thousands of votes that you guys got
it's not.
wrong.
It didn't download fast because of the.
I need to find that many votes because that is my vote.
Because I'm downloading the game.
Every losing candidate says that, which is why they ask for reviews, recalculations, and recounts. It's perfectly lawful. It is not criminal intent.
All right, Alina, let me ask you this. In the case in Washington, they want to start the trial on January 2nd. Interesting. In Georgia, they want to start on March 4th. Okay, that's a Monday. On Tuesday, the next day, that would be called Super Tuesday, one of the most important primary days for anybody that is running for president. Is there any possible way you foresee that he can run a presidential race, be tried on have four separate trials, and successfully compete, or, you know, did they just take his time away as a candidate? And he's good luck to him, and who cares?
Well, that's exactly right. And quite honestly, Sean, that's not even the full picture. We have Letitia James. Let's not forget her. She's about as
sick a ticket as Jack Smith and the rest of them.
Well, she ran on a platform to get one man, Donald Trump, one organization, the Trump organization, and one family, the Trump family.
Right, that's right. So you have DAs and AGs who are now able to come out and say, I want to get Donald Trump and elect me on that cause, and I'm going to do it. Then they do it. So we have October, Letitia James. We have January, E. Jean Carroll. Then we have the criminal indictments. Don't forget those. Those are all by design. So everything is, the judges can't move, they don't want to move, and they want a speedy trial. But they've had years and years and years to investigate these cases, but they didn't bring it until now, and now they need a speedy trial. It's political interference and election interference.
Do you believe that? 2.5 years they waited, real quick.
Oh, absolutely. Now they want the first trial to happen in 2 months. But what Alina just said is really important. It's a violation of the canons of ethics that govern prosecutors to campaign on a promise of putting a specific individual behind bars.
Wait,
Their
what?
duty is to see that.
That's what Donald Trump did. He said he was going to fucking use the DOJ to lock Hillary Clinton up.
To advance their career. But that's what Fani Willis has done, Letitia James, as well as Alvin Bragg.
All right, Alina Habba, thank you. Good to see you. Greg Jarrett, thanks. Good to see you. All right, joining us now, Fox News.
Murat walked in, and I told him the mugshot was out. First question he asked me is, did they post his weight? I was like, yeah. He's like, so what is it? I said, it's 215. He goes, no fucking way.
We're on the same track in terms of the facts that have now been laid out as it relates to Joe and Hunter Biden and what a very serious, I believe, bribery and money laundering allegations that have emerged here. And yet you see two very different ways of handling cases, don't you?
You do, and this is all in the eye of the beholder.
This guy always looks so pompous.
Shot. You know, for Willis, that's a trophy kill moment. She's going to mount that on her wall, and many people will admire it. For half of the country, it's a deeply upsetting moment where they believe that this is the result of weaponizing our judicial system. And, you know, I think that the problem that we have here is this sort of disconnect because I think this case is an overreach. You know, she's using the RICO statute for great advantage. And among those advantages is she could say, I need to try all these people together because they're all part of a conspiracy. And RICO cases often do involve large numbers of people. But the relationship between these allegations are extremely weak, particularly when it comes to Donald Trump. But she's going to have trouble. You know, I've said repeatedly that March date really borders on the laughable. I mean, this is like a potato sack race where you've got 38 legs. You ever try to do a sack race with just one person? You've got to move in unison. These defendants can't do that. You've got some of them that are going to be seeking to remove this case to federal court. I think Donald Trump has a strong argument there. Another one just peeled off and said he wants that speedy trial. So we now have two dates, one in October for the first defendant. So it's going to get messy from here on.
Let me ask you about the history. I've read this transcript over and over again in Atlanta. It's a long transcript. And he talks about varying scenarios where he felt that they did not do a good enough job investigating whether or not these were valid votes. He talks about hundreds of thousands of votes, thousands of votes.
See, this is,
ultimately,
thank God they're finally fucking talking about defenses for this.
You seem to have settled on, well, I only need 11,750 votes. And that is not taken in context of what that call was about. So my question to you is, you know, what did he do here? Or is this an example that you might have a legal theory, maybe it's deemed controversial? Is it a legitimate theory, especially in light of, you know, let's say what happened in 1960 with John Kennedy in Hawaii and alternate electors chosen?
I think this is criminalizing the challenging of elections. Basically, you have a Democratic prosecutor saying, how dare you challenge a Democratic victory? Well, it's been done before by Democrats. And the whole case is based on this theory that Donald Trump really didn't mean it. Well, neither did those, even if that were true, neither did those Democrats. They challenged Trump's election on no grounds at all. I mean,
yeah, Chatter, you're right. it's quite interesting how they never play the phone call on Fox News. Have you guys noticed how they never play the phone call on Fox News where he very specifically says, I need 11,780 votes, one more than we have right now?
This indictment. You know, it makes perfect sense when you're challenging an election to say, you know, I only need around 11,000 votes. So if you do a statewide review, that's not a lot.
Bitch, he didn't say that. He did not say that.
That's not criminal. That's making a case for a recount.
All right, Jonathan Turley, great to have you as always. We appreciate it. All right, when we come back, House Republicans, they're actively working to...
They played it on Right Side Broadcasting, but not Fox, because Right Side Broadcasting says nothing about this call was illegal, while Fox is like, it sounds pretty illegal. No, they played it on Newsmax, but they didn't actually play the original one on Newsmax. They actually played another part of the phone call where he just goes, I need 11,000 votes, 11,000 votes, which is not the actual part. So no, even on Newsmax, they're not actually playing the offending part of the call. Important update for the case in Georgia. Will Trump win the election? Asking as a non-U.S. person. I don't think so. But who knows? Like when you, it's too early to say. But when you think about like a decision that voters are going to make, they're going to make a decision on like possibly taking a shot in the dark with Donald Trump, who they love. Let's say they love, right? But Donald Trump is going to create like possibly a constitutional crisis, unprecedented issues that we have never accounted for, like can a president pardon himself, yada, 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 right? Versus the boring, banal Joe Biden, responsible for inflation and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like voters, when push comes to shove, when we stop thinking about like the party line voters that are always going to vote for one party over the other, when we start thinking about, holy shit, Armor Core is already downloaded. When we start thinking about the people that could swing in either direction, I feel like they are probably going to vote for boring over like possible bedlam.
Yeah, but you're saying it's essentially a risky move because what they're arguing is that he wanted a speedy trial.
I was right. It is CFC Weagle that posted it first.
And then the judge signed off on that today, but saying that's only applying to Ken Cheeseborough, not to Donald Trump and the other 17 co-defendants.
But that's the point. That's what, if his attorneys had thought this through carefully, they believe.
Are you in the chat?
Separating Cheeseborough from this massive, complicated.
Who the fuck sent me that CFC Weagle post that I spent so much time yelling at? Who the fuck sent that to me? Because one of you motherfuckers sent it to me with like 3 likes. So either you were like, Garelon, 15-month subscriber. Explain yourself right now. This is the real one at literally 2 minutes after this post had come out, and it had like 3 likes at the time. Check my time. I posted it, but I got automod timed out. No, you posted it later. 17:08. You're too late, brother. I got this. I clicked on this literally 1 minute or 2 minutes after this was posted. Someone said, it's not real, sadly. And he said, oh, no, it's real. And he was right. Ashley Shendel. Hasan was shitting on you, and you got it right. I know I'm listening to him. Still funny. What is wrong with these people? What's wrong with all you motherfuckers in this chat? Why do you have to go and like at me and shit in the fucking bottom of the replies? I remember you disregarding this and laughing about the name. No, it's real. When I first saw it, I was like, why the fuck would CFC Weigel know? Like, how would he have access to this information? As far as I understand, this is the first time that this was posted. But to be fair, it could be a little bit older. I don't know. A lot of people were scrolling. A lot of people were scrolling for it, so maybe some other people had posted before him as well. Too many of you are very self-important. Yeah, I know. I wonder how they got it. Also, as much as I like Eric Toller's research, he does come across like a fucking cop here. We'll eventually figure out the your source for it, probably some Chan or Discord server. There's no watermark logo because it was leaked from the jail. It hasn't been processed for public release yet. Probably hacked the Gov upload file website. No. No. I suspect someone took a fucking phone photo. Assange only casually out this whistleblower hero? No, not at all. It looks a little bit like a photo of a photo. So potentially someone took a photo of it. All right, let's hear what this guy who hates when at least Jim Jordan is consistent. Jim Jordan, before he became Jim Jordan, okay, in the House Judiciary Committee, he was still spending all of his power stopping investigations from happening into sex crimes that were being committed under his watchful eye. So
trips that Hunter Biden took with his dad.
So he's consistent.
And as a result of those trips, he was making business deals. Did we help facilitate and pay for some of those foreign business deals?
It looks like we paid for all of them. I mean, the president's lied about.
Oh my God, he's still going. They're still going about Hunter Biden.
Flown with him on Air Force Two. It's taken a long time to get that information out. We finally know now. There were over a dozen times.
13 times that we know of, sir?
Yes, over a dozen times.
Oh my God. For the record, chat, you don't want me to fucking jump on random posts from like CFC Weigel or whatever in the future. So that my attitude on media literacy and sources that are verified and trusting sources that are verified is not going to change. All jokes aside, even in the future, if you come to me with like random fucking Twitter posts being like, this is verifiable source, I'm not going to trust it until it is actually a verifiable source. Because mainstream media legacy publishers also end up getting things wrong from time to time. So there's just no shot. Is CFC Weigel considered verified? No, fuck no. And you shouldn't either, okay? So my job is to parse through misinformation, especially at times of breaking news and things like that. And I did the right thing and I stand by it. And I will continue doing this exact same thing in the future as well. I'm not going to immediately assume that some random fucking account is actually offering the correct information. Anyway. Yeah, you did everything right, and Chad indicted you. It was true.
Maggie Haberman to talk about this important day. And Maggie, obviously, Mr. Trump, and let's to be frank, it would be political malpractice for him not to do so.
This is so ugly.
He's using this mugshot and trying to raise money off of it, posting it on Truth Social. We know that the former president is someone who cares quite a bit about his image and legacy, this pose that he considers to be menacing, we're told, is part of that. He does not like to be perceived as a loser, despite what he would call perhaps braggadocious behavior and statements in light of this. How do you think this latest arrest and mugshot in particular, and the fingerprinting and all of what he went through today, how do you think that's actually sitting with him tonight?
I don't think especially well, Jake. From what I heard from people who had spoken to him, he actually seemed less agitated heading into today than he had the previous 3 indictments, which is still a remarkable sentence to say. But he doesn't want to be mugshotted. He doesn't want to be arrested. He doesn't want to have to have what in his mind is the indignity of going to this jail and then, you know, submitting to a photo and a mugshot and fingerprinting. And to your point about the visuals of him, it isn't just that he wants to look menacing, which is certainly true, and he has made that kind of face in photos for years and years and years. He doesn't want to look weak, and that's what that's about. And so, you know, circulating the mugshot, fundraising off of it, owning it, using it for press, that's all part of a playbook that we have seen him use over and over again, but that does not mean he's enjoying any of this. This is, you know, a serious thing. He is facing serious jail time.
And explain to me, to the capacity that anyone on this planet can, how refusing to accept a clear, decisive electoral defeat in 2020 and desperately attempting any way possible to hold on to power legally and then extra legally and then illegally, at least according to the special counsel and the Fulton County DA, how is that not weak?
Because in his mind, he didn't concede, and that has been how he has operated for decade after decade after decade, through business failures, through bankruptcies of his casinos, through losses, through products failing, through divorces. It has all been, if you pretend it is not happening, if you create your own reality, if you don't give in to what other people are acknowledging as objective reality, then maybe it really isn't there. And he is somebody who does not think in terms of long-term strategy. He thinks in very short increments of time, and it's all about just getting from one post to another. And so that is how somebody thinks like that. It's also how somebody thinks who has lived, Jake, and this doesn't really get said, I think, enough about him. Mm-hmm. He lived a fairly consequence-free life before he was president. The bankruptcies cost the banks. Now, he did not like the press. He was very unhappy about it. But the bankruptcies were a loss to the banks. Generally, he had his father to help bail him out. He has moved from one thing to another without having to really face the kind of consequences that other people might have in similar circumstances. So this is an unusual moment.
There was another shakeup of Mr. Trump's legal team today. His new attorney, Stephen Sadow, was with him tonight, met him in person on the tarmac at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta. What can you tell us about the decision to bring Sadow on? We should note that Sadow is a very well-respected defense attorney, but why switch now?
It's obviously notable that he's switched several hours before he went to go be arrested in Georgia. My understanding, Jake, is this had been in the works for several weeks. He was always planning on adding to the team. Sadow had been in discussions with Trump's world for some time, as I understand it. Trump, I think, only recently was introduced to him, but there was a decision to let his other
lawyer, Drew Feinling, go, and that came in the wake of the indictment.
Kind of wish he would have smiled on his mugshot so we could have joined the mugshots of Rick Perry, John Edwards, and Tom DeLay. Nah, he's not. Dude, he wasn't going to smile on that. There was just no way. He wanted to look, because smiling is difficult. You can't always nail it, right? It requires, oh my God, Newsmax is so funny. Pence, talk faster. What is happening on Newsmax? You can't always hit the smile right, but you can always hit the smolder correctly. You know his ass fucking practiced it too.
The state trial would likely be televised. The federal one would not. Would Donald Trump, do you think, in the event that this does actually get heard in a Georgia court where cameras are allowed, would he, do you think, embrace that? Or would he try to get cameras barred from the courthouse?
I actually think that he would embrace it, Jake, although I don't think that there's unanimity of opinion around him about how to handle that. I think your point that legal experts, and we've been hearing the same thing, think that there is a
dick
real
riding. What
chance,
else
it's
is
not
new?
definite, obviously, but there is a real chance that a removal motion, meaning asking for this trial to be moved to federal court because these were actions taken in the capacity, they'll argue, of his office. Prosecutors, I think, would argue that it was outside of his capacity, but he was a federal office holder. There is a non-zero chance that that happens, and if that happens, this does change things significantly.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not somebody thinks Donald Trump is guilty or not guilty. This is just a question of law, and the law would seem to say there's a plausible case that a judge will rule that it does belong in federal court. The jail, Fulton County Jail, that Donald Trump was processed at today, we've been noting that it's notorious for its harsh conditions. The Justice Department is investigating it. Prisoners more regularly than they should die while in custody. We saw images earlier today. Drew Griffin, our reporter, Brian Todd, our reporter, showed us images of the inside of the jail. It's shockingly awful. What do you imagine that experience was like for Donald Trump, who I think has probably never been inside a building like that before?
Weeby. First Trump tweet. Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, first Trump tweet since January 8, 2021. Oh, he's back. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, he's back. Oh my God. Does this mean he's going to tweet more? Oh, wow. That would be sick. That would be so sick. If he starts tweeting on here again, I'm not even joking when I say if he starts tweeting on here again, he could literally win the election outright. Whole lot of Trump. The fuck? This would unironically revitalize Twitter. It would get every single journalist that has left Twitter to come back to Twitter. It would get every single journalist that came back to Twitter extra annoyed with him. So they would constantly cover him. Because right now, it takes effort to figure out what the fuck Trump is saying. I liked the tweet. I fucking liked it. Because I do like it. Please tell me you were being sarcastic in that tweet. Sorry. No, I'm not. That's the current American president. He's still the president. I'm not going to retweet it. That's a bit too much. I don't want to boost it that much. Not that it matters. It's the fucking president, and it's his first goddamn tweet back, but Claim your free shirt. If you make a contribution of $47 or more to help defend our movement from the never-ending witch hunts, we'll send you your very own Never Surrender t-shirt for free. This is the ugliest shirt I've ever seen. Can't wait for conservatives to understand we support this as well. 10 wars, 0 arrests, 0 wars, 4 arrests. I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome. Also, how are you going to arrest, I mean, dead, soon to be fucking dead, but also definitely arrest all of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, great. Got sucked off in the White House, instituted horrifying welfare reforms that that absolutely eviscerated the working poor population. Okay, right here. War on Terror, Patriot Act, the Department of Homeland Security's invention. NAFTA, arrest him for the crime of NAFTA, Bill Clinton. Torture, extrajudicial killings. Extrajudicial killing of an American citizen in a drone strike. Also, accelerating the war on terror. And then, I mean, he did everything. So he's CIA. Just pick your poison. I mean, choose whatever you want to choose from his long list. He bombed a hospital, Kunduz. That's right. Might have been the shot that killed JFK. There's a lot. So, didn't he kill a 16-year-old American kid? Talking about Obama, yes. Trump actually, I think, killed his sister. Oh, this is a very famous Bill Clinton crime as well. On this day in 1998, Bill Clinton ordered a cruise missile attack on Sudan's El Shifa factory, which produced 90% of the country's pharmaceuticals. The loss of the factory resulted in the deaths of tens of thousands from treatable diseases. Yes. The U.S. claimed the plant produced WMDs and had connections to Osama bin Laden, but neither was true. When it became clear the plant only produced medicine, the U.S. blocked the UN inquiry into the incident. In 1998, Sudan was heavily sanctioned and was unable to import expensive replacement drugs to compensate for the destroyed Al Shifa plant, which provided vital medicines at an inexpensive price. In Sudan, the incident is widely described as an act of terror. Factory owners sued the U.S. in an attempt to receive compensation, but the court dismissed their suit, ruling the enemy target of a military force has no right for compensation for the destruction of property designated by the president as enemy war-making property. In the years since the attack, U.S. officials have quietly acknowledged the evidence that prompted Bill Clinton to order the missile strike on the Shifa plant was not as solid as first portrayed. By the way, this is just one of like a million different things that we've done. So tell me this. If this is what our liberal, supposedly peaceful doves are doing, and you already know what the Republicans are doing, don't you feel like there's a direct through line from that to the minds of every hog that immediately hits the fucking phone call to the police to issue a bomb threat? Like, what does that say about the psyche? What does that say about the American consciousness? That we've watched this happen year over year, that we've lived through it, we've justified it. You know? When that is the reality, when that is our foreign affairs, no wonder every single American becomes increasingly more unhinged and more violent every single fucking day. All that kind of evil you put out there is inevitably going to come home. Here come the grifters. Revenge. That's hard, not gonna lie, says the guy with a fucking bored ape. God, these people are so stupid. Anyway.
On Twitter.
Twitter.
What is formerly known as Twitter.
Has he tweeted in?
He's saying something that is not accurate, but it is the first time he has been on Twitter. I think we're going to discuss how he put it up there. But the mugshot is on Twitter now. Donald J. Trump is back on Twitter. But again,
come
we're
on.
Going to be
Bubba.
and how we show it because of the.
But it's the first time
expression that he has on there about the election.
And obviously, I mean, the significance, right, is
My dad is cooking up too much. He's cooking too much, and now the fire alarm is going off.
ends on January 6th. And now I think it's a clear choice on the part of his campaign, on the part of his aides, to use this particular moment to be back on there, tweeting out the mugshot, tweeting out, you know,
It's a smoke alarm.
inflammatory comments. I don't think anybody at home would be surprised by what he's saying. I mean, he says it all the time, but at the same time, we don't have to repeat it or show it necessarily.
You live with your parents in your mid-30s? Yeah, I know. I'm such a fucking loser, dude. It's
In the minds of folks. I mean, they've been holding off on this for quite some time. They chose this moment.
Yeah, this is the same thing that he posted on Truth Social, which is a fundraising appeal, defiance, election lies, et cetera. Yeah, Jamie?
Two notable things. The last tweet before this, or whatever we call them now.
Why is someone
was
crying
January
in the
8th,
audience?
2021. To all of those who've asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. And I think it's worth reading that because we would not be here today and the 18 co-defendants would not be here today. All he had to do was concede.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. I have to say, I wonder, he has refused to post on Twitter, which is now known as X. He has refused to do that because he wants to bring attention to his own social media platform, Truth Social, and also defiance, I guess. They kicked him off. It's interesting that he is tweeting, or whatever it's called today, Xing, because it makes me wonder, A, is that kind of an acknowledgement that Truth Social isn't doing it? Or B, that they need the fundraising help?
Yeah, it's the money, right?
Yeah, they need the fundraising help. They need to go where the...
Yeah, of course they need the fundraising. He has too many court cases. Listen, that's a lot of lawyer fees. There's court fees, lawyer fees. You have to fucking pay for a bond. By the way, a lot of people are like, oh, he's a broke boy. He had to get fucking bond. I bet you that the guy probably did it for the marketing. Like the bail bondsman probably was like, oh, I'll cover it for the marketing in and of itself. And Trump loves a good deal. Also, don't make fun of that chatter and be like, oh, you're a fucking loser for him asking if I'm in my 30s living with my parents. That chatter is an American, even though a lot of Americans also now live with their parents. And there's nothing wrong with that, for the record. I love my parents. I have a really good relationship with them. And I'm happy that I can have a roof over my head where they can come and live with me as well. And also, it is very Turkish and increasingly more American, too, due to financial circumstances that people live with their parents. It's normal.
Taking a lot of attention to this mugshot. They're sharing it. The former president just rejoined Twitter, also recently rebranded as X, to share that mugshot. And I think you can expect them to fundraise off of it, as they have fundraised off a fake mugshot in the past. And so
campaign funds can be used for court cases, not directly, but super PAC funds, yes. Super PAC funds have been they have been used. They are using it right now for his court cases.
To Georgia and go through another process like this yet again. Now, some other reporting I have, Jake, is that Donald Trump on the plane ride to Atlanta was watching.
Oh shit, M HUD, thank you for the raid. Uh-oh.
Elena, hold on one second.
Uh-oh. What the fuck's going on with my internet? What? That was weird. I got raided by M HUD and then my internet effed out.
Hold you responsible for that.
Yeah.
Please proceed. Now we can hear you better.
No, what I was trying to say, yeah, so I'm still by the airport where Donald Trump had just recently taken off and is heading back to Bedminster. But on that plane, on the way here, his team, as well as Donald Trump, was watching cable news coverage of his surrender, as well as the debates, dissecting it as they often do on these trips. And he's continuing to watch it on his way back. I know we have another plane coming, so apologies for the audio. But they are very tuned in to what the media is saying about his surrender today. And again, with that mugshot.
Aren't you downloading Armored Core? No, I already downloaded Armored Core like an hour ago. My stream was being weird too. Got too scared of playing Hardcore WoW with how weird it was, so I ended it. Could be a Twitch issue. I don't know. Damn, you got scared, so you brought that evil on here, MHUD. What the fuck? No, I'm kidding.
From that mugshot, Jane.
All right, Elena Trine, who's about to return to her job with those cones, where she's going to be bringing planes in and landing them. Thank you so much, Elena. I appreciate it.
Good one, Jake.
Morning. Michael Moore, in addition to the big question about whether or not a federal court or a state court is going to hear this case, which you've convinced me is a serious question. There's also the question about when this trial will take place.
Right.
Kenneth Chesebro, who is one of the co-defendants, he wants a quick trial. District Attorney Fani Willis said.
So do liberals expect us to vote for Joe Brandon now? This only makes Trump look harder, especially with this mugshot. I agree, brother. Hell
that's
yeah.
actually going to be the start date, but Kenneth Chesebro is entitled to that as a start date if he wants it,
right.
you say. So presumably some of these cases will drop off or be severed, et cetera. He just got a new attorney today,
right?
Donald Trump. I would think that would bolster the argument.
Bro,
that
I
he
can't
needs
do this.
More time.
All right, I can't be the only one who thinks this is boring. This coverage is not fun. Fox News has moved on. What the fuck is happening with this guy's face? Never mind. Live stream has been concluded.